Good day everyone and welcome to another LEGO Stars review. Today we're going to be doing set 75249. The Resistance Y-Wing Starfighter contains 578 pieces and 5 stinky old minifigures, ages 8+. This is a set that I've been meaning to get for quite a while, largely because of my completionist nature and wanting to get, all the versions of Poe Dameron, and of course also wanting to get Zori Bliss, and also just because I'm a huge fan of just the Y-Wing vehicle in general. I've got a lot of feelings about a lot of Star Wars vehicles, and I gotta say that the Y-Wing is just such a classic shape, and it's a vehicle that I think often goes overlooked. I've always kind of liked the Y-Wing a little bit more than I've even liked, the X-Wing, personally. But, it's a thing. Hold on, you'll have to pardon me, I'm just looking up how much this set retails for, because I forget. I am inclined to say 90? Maybe 80? Let's see what we've got here. No, 70. Wow, damn, that's actually a pretty good price for piece. Okay. Hold on, is that US or Canadian? Nah, that's US. So it's like, ugh, damn it. I was hoping it would be good, but no, that means it's like 80 or 90 here in Canada. Rats. So not really quite as good of a price for piece or of a value as the Rogue One Y-Wing, which is really unfortunate, because that was a great set. That set was phenomenally priced. That one had such good minifigures and was just a good overall set. Oh, how I loved that Y-Wing. But we've got this one. So our first minifigure of the 5 is D.O. Yeah, I incorrectly stated in a prior review that D.O. was exclusive to the Millennium Falcon, which he is in fact not. Obviously, he's here. Pretty simple print. There's no mobility on this minifigure. It's literally just what you see is what you get. It's just a piece of plastic with a little stud hole in the bottom. Great. The gajillionth freaking cute droid sidekick character. Useless ass. Then we got a snowtrooper, and I would say that this look with the cape is definitely the best look that the snowtroopers, First Order snowtroopers, have ever had. Other than that, it's the exact same as all the other ones that we've ever gotten, as far as I can tell. Back printing right there, torso printing right there, lots of really nice details of the pockets and everything. No skirt this time, but that figures what with the cape. Same stupid awful face that makes me want to shoot myself, and the same nice helmet that is really quite nice, and just a standard blaster. With the capes, they look just really nice. I think that's a good look. I kind of wish the snowtroopers had that look all throughout just the sequel movies in general, because that's definitely the peak appearance, and we've seen snowtroopers, even if just briefly, in all 3 of them. Anyways, then we've got this turquoise astromech droid who I think has been identified. I think it was identified as like Zori Bliss's like turquoise astromech droid, although the name is not coming to me, although who gives a shit? It's really good and cute. Definitely very eye-popping little droid, isn't it? Just that really nice sort of color just being given to one of these sort of flat top astromechs, I think is a really good idea. I think that it's a good look. I think that it's a cute droid, and I'm glad that we got it as a minifigure, because it's definitely an interesting one to add to like the droid astromech collection. It's just got a lot of sort of visual intrigue, this one does. Then we got the brand spanking new Poe Dameron, who is still exclusive to this set, nicely enough. I can't imagine he'll stay that way, but for now it's nice. It's a good look, with the nougat pouch right there, which when you pull up his arm, as you can see, he's got a really nice torso right there with the white and the scarf. I think it's a good look. The back printing is quite nice as well. Legs are standard, and yeah, he's got a silver pistol, and then he's got the exact same face and hair that he's always had. He and Rey and their consistency, hats off. This is a really good minifigure. I think this is the definitely most interesting, good-looking Poe minifigure that we've ever gotten. I think that they did him quite nicely, and he feels relatively appropriate in the set, unlike D.O. or the Snowtrooper. Those two are kind of stretches, if you will. Then we got Zori, who's a really nice minifigure. I think they did her really, really nicely. They did her curvy figure justice with this minifigure, giving her all the proper shapes and curves and whatnot that she ought to. Redundant, much redundant. She's got the nice gold accents there, gold accents that are obviously much shinier than her helmet color, but that is to be expected at this point. I love the side silhouette that they got on that helmet, by the way. They really, really did a good job with her. I like that back printing right there. It looks good. There's no face under there, but the inside of the helmet is black, interestingly enough. Got a lot of really nice sort of mechanical details, and I like the little two spits of black right there, and then the face with the sort of little vocalizer right there is really quite nice. This is a good-looking minifigure, and I think they did a good job with it. Also, this choice for blaster pistols, I think, was appropriate. Her blasters were a little bit fancier, and while I wouldn't say they look like this, I think this is a good way of indicating it, you know? And also just nice to get pieces that you don't get all too often. Those sort of old-timey blunderbuss pistols. Anyways, as far as the minifigure selection goes, I think that this is pretty darn good. It's a good minifigure selection, and honestly, it kind of almost competes with the minifigure selection of the Rogue One Y-Wing. And amongst them, two remain exclusive, because Zori got her stinky old microfighter. Anyways, the Y-Wing. You'll see as we go over this bad boy that it is quite similar in most ways to the previous Y-Wing that we've gotten. As you can see, the building techniques to make up the thrusters, even the landing gear that you can see down there. By way of how it's put together, it's not entirely or really at all dissimilar to the previous Y-Wing that we've gotten. But regardless, on the bottom right here, you can see that we've got our bomb bay, of course, which I'm going to be showing you in detail in a little bit, and we've got three little pieces of landing gear, naturally. Fold those up to make it for a much more sleek look. Also on the bottom, you've got the two spring-loaded shooters right there, which of course work excellently. I love the spring-loaded shooters. They're the best shooting function that LEGO's ever made. Right up at the front right here, as you can see, we've got kind of a sticker-happy cabin. It's got 6 stickers right up here, making up the shape, although I do say that it is quite a slick look. I think that the red and the white, as opposed to the yellow and the white, this is a welcome change, and I think it looks quite good. Even though the set itself comes with very few red pieces. Most of the red accents that you'll see in this as we go through, you will be noticing come from stickers. From where I sit right now, I can count maybe 5 or 6 actual red pieces that came in the set. It is not that much. But anyways, as you can see, just cannons up at the front, pretty standard. Love the shape on the cockpit, by the way. It's very much evocative of Episode 4 and the way that initial Y-Wing was put together. As you can see right in there, as you can see, it's just got a simple little cockpit and no studs to attach a minifigure. How excellent. Thank you very much. My favorite is when you make it so that people are going to be rattling around in there. However, the interesting thing with Zori is that I am pretty sure they made this Y-Wing not just for minifigures, but for specifically the Zori minifigure, because when you plop her ass in there and you put the thing down, her helmet comes in just enough contact with the top piece right there that while she jangles a little bit, it could be worse. Like, you can hear her in there. But, you know, she's not, like, flopping out of her seat or anything, because it's pretty compact. Still would have liked just, come on, just studs. Like, is it really that hard? Is it really that hard just to give us some studs? Either way, it's, with Zori in there, it's fine, but with other minifigures, it's more noticeable how much they rattle. Moving down along the back, as you can see, our cockpit here kind of tapers off, and then we've got a little bit of a turret right here, which, as you can see, rotates. It's presumably piloted by the astromech droid. It's quite a simple little shape right there, and I especially like how they use these slanted little pieces in here to sort of work around the rounded exterior of the turret right here. I think that was a clever part usage, using these two newer sort of diagonally slanted little slope pieces. Got some macaroni bits up here which surround the gun, which rotates and does all the things you want to, except for point directly forward. If you want it to, it's going to be pointing always ever so slightly upward, which is kind of a frustration, but you know, why should it need to point forward? You got these guns for the direct forward, so it's fine. This one can cover the tail. Anyways, then you got your droid socket in there. No shooting out feature or anything like previous sets. You know, this is just a simple, you slap your droid in there, and if you want to take it out, you just take it out, deal with it, sort of thing, you know? You never really know what you're going to get when it comes to droid sockets, because sometimes they want to work in a feature, sometimes they just don't want to. It's a mixed bag. Anyways, just some simple greebling here. As you can see, the greebling, of course, climaxes with this sort of area up here. As you can see, you've got all sorts of machinery and whatnot that's been nicely built up. Handle is deep in there, sort of covered up by one of these arms, which is connected to one of the nipple pieces. And then, you know, you've got all sorts of grates and, I gotta say, this Y-wing design is definitely improved by the introduction of these flat macaronis, which they didn't have on the previous one, and I gotta say, it really makes this one quite a little bit better. It definitely sort of rounds off the exterior, and it makes it look a lot better. When you look at it from under here, this whole area down here, that is not a good look, so like dead forward, it doesn't look too good. It looks kind of hollow, but from anywhere, from like an overview angle, it looks a lot better. As you can see right up there, you've got your bombs, which of course work the same way that all the Y-wing bomber things have worked. You turn the wheel at the back right here, and then it drops your bombs out. Whoopee. Works just as well as it previously did. No real changes to it. It includes the same 3 bombs, blah 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 blah. As you can see, works quite simply. It is just a gear connected to some whirly gigamaroos. Then you've got some struts at the back right there. Got a simple little thing which surrounds the gear. I kind of wish that this were like a light gray. I think that would make it look a little bit better. Then you've got the thrusters, which fortunately don't have a sticker both on the top and the bottom. Fortunately for us this time, they only have a sticker on the top, which is a much better look. Other than that, it's basically the same as last time, although it doesn't have the little skates used for greebling around the thrusters, which I kind of miss. But it looks quite nice, it looks quite sleek. As you can see, the thrusters are propelled out quite far right there, and it's a really good look. Got your little end and thrusters in there. And yeah, the red and the white sort of at the top right there nicely pair with the cockpit naturally, and it's just an overall really good look. The Y-wing is hard to sort of screw up because it's such a nice aesthetic, and especially when they perfected it in 2016, or maybe it was 2017. Either way, it's still a really nice look, and I think that they pulled it off nicely, and I think the changed colors actually act as quite an improvement. There's nothing really wrong with this set, honestly, outside of like the price, but the price isn't even really that frustrating compared to some of the other more recent sets. This set has good minifigures, it's got a really good build, it is sleek, it's got some improvements to the previous version, and I think that it just overall does what it's supposed to do quite nicely. Obviously, it's going to be marked up in price because of the newer movie, and also the anthology movies did not have as high of prices as the mainline movies, naturally. But still, this is a solid set, and I think that it's good. I think that waiting 3 or 4 years to remake the Y-wing was, you know, it's a little soon, but it's not too soon, you know. I don't feel like I'm drowning in Y-wings, like I feel like I'm drowning in sand speeders, or Luke's land speeder, I mean, or X-wings or stuff like that. This feels like it's far enough from the last one that we've had a little bit of time to breathe. Obviously, I would always want something that's newer and more different and more interesting, obviously. You know, the more variety, the better, I always say, when it comes to sets, even if, you know, if it's an experiment. However, as far as stuff these days goes, if you're looking For a safe remake with good minifigures and a good sturdy build which is fun to play with and looks good on display, you can't really go wrong here. It's got great pieces, it's got a good look, it's just a darn good set, and I'm contented by it, honestly. Yeah, so I think they did a good job on this one, and that's really all I've got to say about the stinky old Resistance Y-Wing. Catch you jokers on the flip. Bye for now.